Welcome. In this video, I am going to delve into the details of how to start with an elm trunk like this one, or a regular lacebark elm trunk or similar type species, and move them on their way to becoming a nice little Shohin-sized finished composition. Now, if you're a longtime fan of this channel, this may seem pretty familiar to you, and that's because I've actually done this as a video, and I'll share the link to that at the end of the video. But in today's video, I'm just going to concentrate on the first step, and that is basically I've got all these shoots that are coming out of a cutback trunk, and whether that's a mass market trunk that you chopped back because it had an ugly S-curve in it, or something that you just purchased, the steps are basically just the same. We want to wait until the tree has issued some new growth, and then we want to take that growth and adapt it to a bonsai shape that we want to create. With this particular tree, which has a very nice little trunk on it, I grew the trunk myself, and in the process of growing the trunk, I was also trying to create little branches. Unfortunately, in the last season, a lot of those little branches that were down here near the base just sort of dried up and died, and so I'm going to remove all of the extraneous bits here that are not going to bud out, even though I was hoping they would, and concentrate on the growth that I'm actually getting. Alright, so stubs removed for the most part, and now I'm going to look at where on the trunk there are branches coming out. So I've got some nice lower ones down here that I'm definitely going to save, and then I'm going to look at each position along the trunk from the bottom up to the top where there are clusters of branches. Each one of these clusters of branches, I may only use one or two, and I want to pick ones that are best positioned based on both the front of the composition as well as the angle of the branch and usability. So I have to kind of initially decide what the front of the tree is going to be in order to make these sorts of determinations. Up to this point, I still haven't made that front decision, although I'm getting closer. And with this particular tree, what I'm basing it on is the movement of the trunk, the quality of the base, the width of the base, as well as the taper in the trunk. And so what I'm noticing is that even though I cut it here previously, it looks like this section maybe is a little bit too big for how high up it is in the composition. So I'm actually going to consider removing this top inch of that wood in favor of growing out one of these shoots to be a smaller sort of start to the top. So I've gone ahead and wired these two branches together with the wire looping across what from your view is the back of the trunk. And now with that wire in place, I can add a little bit of movement to each one of these and kind of, I'm actually even going to put a little bit of a twist in it, which in an elm tree only pretty much shows up in the texture of the bark, and on the branches that may take quite a while to actually show up, but I figure why not? It actually distributes the stress on the plant tissue a little bit better while you're doing the bending than if you just make turns. I'm also not cutting off the tips of these branches because I want these to run a little bit more just for this first initial session. All right, now with a couple of branches wired, I think I've finalized my decision, and that is that I'm going to take off this section and I'm going to use this shoot as the new next leader. And that means I'm going to angle the cut down this way. So I'm going to use my little saw here, and hopefully that's going to work out the way I want it to. There's one other shoot right here that I'm going to see if I can save because it's lower than these branches. These guys are at pretty much the same level. With that cut off, I think that the taper is going to look a lot better, but I still have these shoots to wire, and I'm not sure that I'm actually going to keep this one, but I'm going to go ahead and wire this one up first just to see how I can make it look. All right, so that's it for this time. And what I've done here is to bring that top kind of back over this direction where the wood that I cut off was going, as well as a little bit forward because the tree's kind of leaning back if you look at it from what I picked as the front. It's also possible that the opposite side is the front, but in either case, the way that I've positioned these branches, taking into account that most of the length is actually going to be cut off and that this one is just going to be left to run to bulk this up for a little while, I think that this branch setting will be good in terms of moving it towards being a nice little tree. So the last step is just to put a little bit of wound sealant on that. Okay, for this next example, the process is basically exactly the same. It's just that the branches are in slightly different positions. So I'm going to start by cutting off a few dead stubs here from when it was in a growing container. And then next what I'm going to do is basically sort of analyze what I think is usable and what is not usable. So the other one didn't have a lot of branching all the way around the trunk. This one's a little bit more evenly distributed branching, but some of it's too low and some of it is in clusters. So I'm removing things that are basically not needed. Now this branch has 3 or 4 shoots coming out of it and it's very low, but it's also in the back. So I'm not going to take it off quite yet. It has a little bit of girth to it, which makes it kind of interesting for a low branch. And because it's in the back, I can actually use it structurally to create volume back here, even though it might be lower than visually I would want it. So rough cleanup done, and now on to the wiring. You may have noticed that I have left a few of these branches with just a couple of leaves, and that's because in a couple of cases the tree budded out of stubs of branches that are in decent positions, and rather than just cutting off the side branching, I can actually use those to start the ramification process. So essentially those branches are one step ahead of where we are overall with the tree, and I'm just starting the ramification process by cutting them back to a couple of leaves. So like I said, the process is basically the same. In this case, I didn't have to do any large cuts because I had cut back far enough and I got the shoots that I needed. I've probably kept a lot more here than I actually need to, but I like to just sort of let these things run. Obviously, this looks completely ridiculous right now, and it's not the way that I want my bonsai to look. And that's why sometimes these intermediate steps are really difficult to understand. Essentially, almost everything on this tree is going to be cut back to something like a 1-inch stub after these branches set in the position that I have positioned them now. Then the tree is going to leaf out from all of those stubs and start to create a really nice set of ramification. So if you're familiar with Seiju Chinese corkbark elm, you know that it's very similar to the type that I've been working on so far, except that the leaves stay a lot smaller. Now, I actually find the regular variety to be more fun to work with personally, but for really small compositions, Seiju I think is a really good option. For anything larger than, say, 12 inches or something, you're going to be working so much to keep the branching looking good that I just don't really think that it's worth it. You have to kind of balance the character of the tree to the size of the composition that you want to create. So with this tree, it's already been cut back a few times, and so I'm going in and trimming off a bunch of the shoots that have come out, and then I'm going to do the leaf thinning exercise that I do on these guys to create more ramification. But in a couple of cases, I'm also going to need to add a little bit of wire because this tree is a little bit further along than some of the other examples that I've shown so far in the video. That said, there is a little bit of wiring to do here because obviously shoots are going to come out and they're just going to go up. And so if I want horizontal sections to build on what I already have here, I need to use wire to create those. All right, well, that basically went the same. It's just that the scale is so much smaller that I spend a lot of time picking off leaves in order to just even be able to see the structure of the composition. And I guess that's a good thing. In the winter time with no leaves on these guys, they can look really super detailed even at small scale like this. So I will set this back out to grow just like the rest of them. If you want to check out the overall process of what this looks like, check out that video down there next, and we'll see you next time.